Hi, I'm Bhavesh, and today I'm going to talk about glute bridges. They're a great exercise to strengthen and activate your glutes, and they train the glutes in a way that squats and deadlifts don't. They're excellent for sprinters and triple jumpers, long jumpers, really any athlete that has short bursts of acceleration or maximum velocity in their sport. Um, They can be done with weight once you have mastered the basic body weight version, but you can also progress them just using body weight alone. I often find that people rush through the exercise either because they're among the calisthenics crowd and they want to go on to the back bridge, or because they're doing the bridges with weight or generally exercising with weight and want to add weight to these bridges and don't really get all of the benefits that just a pure body weight exercise would provide. So first, let me demonstrate what a typical glute bridge looks like. With that, I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit so that you can see me down here. Alright, so with the glute bridge, the basic version, you'll be lying on the floor. Pull your toes up a little bit. Keep your heels relatively close to your butt. Don't jam them right in, but about a hand length or so. And keep your feet about hip width apart. Right? Then be sure to engage your abs because you don't want to over arc your back. This is something, by the way, calisthenics people do wrong a lot of times because they're thinking about doing a back bridge and then they tend to arc the spine greatly. You don't want to do that. Don't hunch forward, but keep a flat back. You really want the glutes to do all of the work. And then finally, I know this is a little silly because I'm talking to you, but keep your head somewhat in line with the spine. I will not be doing that because, again, I have to look at the camera somewhat. Also, your arms will be out at your side, like this, to support you and keep you balanced. You're not actually supposed to push off the arms at any point, okay? So, here's how you do it. Pull your toes up, keep your abs engaged, and then really push through the hips. Maintain the top position for a second, and then come back down. Then again, push through the hips, maintain the top position for a second, and come back down. It's very important that you maintain the top position because that's where your glutes really get to contract. And as we will see later on in a more advanced version, the top position is pretty crucial. Now, if this is pretty easy for you, and easy means that you can do 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps with maybe 1 to 2 minutes of break in between, and the reps are of course clean, then you can try doing the same thing with your arms crossed in front of your chest. So basically, again, keep your toes up, engage your abs, push up with the hips, maintain the top position, come back down. This adds a little bit of instability, doesn't make it a lot harder, but it makes the exercise a little more interesting. Then, once you've got the hang of a glute bridge on the floor, with or without your arms crossed, you can then employ some sort of elevated surface. I will be using this here, right? You can then employ some sort of elevated surface to add a little bit to the challenge. Again, basically the same position, just that you will be putting your heels on top of that object, and again, toes up, abs engaged, head in line, and push up with your hips. Maintain the top position for a second and come back down. Again, through the hips, drive them forward, maintain the top position for a moment, and then come back down. You don't actually have to stay up as long as I do. I'm just doing it because I'm talking along with demonstrating the exercise. So that's a basic progression for the glute bridge. Again, I would recommend that you do this for 3 times 20 reps with about a minute to 2 minutes of break in between. Then finally, you can move on to what is commonly known as a hip thruster. Very similar to the glute bridge, just a slightly different position. So instead of placing your feet on top of the object. You actually place your upper body on it. This is suboptimal. Hang on. Let me get something a little bit more stable. There we go. An armchair, for instance, works great for this. And so you're up here with your upper body. Same as before. Heels not too far away. Heels not too far away from the butt. Abs engaged. Arms on top. Or down, or crossed in front of your chest if you want. And then the same thing. Push through the heels. Maintain the top position for a moment. Come back down. Again, push through the heels. Thrusting the hips forward. Maintain the top position. Back down. And really be sure to engage the abs, because you do not want to be working from the spine. The back should be stabilizing but not actually moving. Again, engage the abs, keep your toes up, push through the heels, drive your hips upward. Maintain the top position. Now, the reason why this exercise is a little harder is because the lever, the weight at the top position, is perpendicular to gravity. This makes maintaining the top position harder. It's like in the leg raise, the higher your legs come and the closer they are to parallel to the ground, the harder it becomes to keep them in that position, to maintain that position. Of course, hamstring inflexibility also adds to that. Now, once you've got the hang of this, again, 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps, you can try going through the entire thing on one leg. I will demonstrate this only with the hip thrusters now to save time. So again, if you're up here, same thing as before, engage your abs, toes up. You can keep your leg out in front, you can point it upwards, doesn't really matter. Cross your arms and push. And again, come down and push. Really try to stick in that top position for a moment. You will end up feeling this in your hips, particularly again in your butt. You will also slightly feel it in your hamstrings. Be sure to not push too much through the knee. You don't want to be actually using your thighs here in the front to straighten out the knee as you go up. Finally, as a last variation, you can also add something to destabilize you completely, such as a basketball or a med ball. However, you should be careful with that, because balancing on top of an unstable object like that requires a lot of control, and it's better if you go only to technical failure, so to the point where you feel it's unsafe to balance anymore, rather than trying to exhaust your muscles with an exercise like this. So there you have it, folks. That's the glute bridge and the hip thrusters and some basic progressions. I hope you all enjoyed it. Do subscribe if you want to see more of these kind of videos. And see you next time. Till then, I'm Bhavesh. Train hard, train smart.